Sister wives. Kody melted Meri's ring so she'd have no claim on him? The reality television world surrounding sister wives has never lacked drama, and the ongoing revelations about Kody Brown and his relationships continue to captivate longtime viewers. As the family's plural marriage unraveled before the eyes of millions, fans were left stunned by a particularly chilling allegation that Kody Brown once melted Meri Brown's ring to erase any symbolic or emotional claim she might have had on him. If true, this alleged act symbolizes the complete collapse of a bond that once stood at the center of sister wives. The speculation has reignited discussion about how far the family patriarch was willing to go to detach himself from his first wife and to rewrite the emotional history of a relationship that began decades ago. The early days of Kody and Meri. When Sister Wives first premiered in 2010, the foundation of the Brown family appeared rooted in unity and faith. Kody Brown introduced viewers to his 4 wives, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robin, along with their many children, as they sought to portray the complexities and harmony of plural marriage. Meri was Kody's first legal wife, the one who began this large family journey with him. Their relationship, often referred to as the original connection, was the foundation upon which the rest of the family was built. Kody often spoke in early episodes about the strong emotional connection he had with Meri, describing her as passionate, loyal, and deeply committed to their shared faith. However, as time went on, cracks began to show. Jealousy, emotional distance, and Kody's growing attachment to his youngest wife, Robin, led to tension that only grew worse as the seasons progressed. A symbolic gesture turned dark? The allegation that Kody melted Meri's ring has resurfaced in fan circles and online discussions, reigniting outrage and heartbreak among viewers who have followed their relationship for over a decade. According to circulating speculation, Kody's decision to destroy Meri's ring was more than just a gesture of separation. It was a deliberate act meant to erase any trace of their marital history. Rings have always held powerful symbolism in marriages. They represent unity, permanence, and the cyclical nature of love. If the story is true, Kody's act could be interpreted as a calculated and emotionally charged attempt to cut Meri off not just legally or spiritually, but symbolically. Some fans interpret this alleged act as one of control, a way for Kody to assert that the marriage was no longer valid and that Meri should no longer feel connected to him in any way. Others see it as a sign of deep resentment, born from years of frustration, disappointment, and distance. Whatever the motivation, the notion of melting a ring, something that once represented love and commitment, marks a definitive end to an already crumbling bond. Meri's transformation and emotional detachment. In recent seasons, viewers have watched Meri's transformation with admiration and sympathy. Once the quiet, loyal wife who stayed in the background while Kody grew closer to Robin, Meri eventually began to reclaim her independence and self-worth. Her social media presence has reflected this journey. She's frequently shared messages about empowerment, new beginnings, and self-discovery. Fans have watched as Meri built her own businesses, traveled independently, and surrounded herself with supportive friends and family outside of the sister wives circle. The ring, symbolic of her earlier years with Kody, no longer appeared on her finger in public appearances or online photos. For many fans, it seemed like a quiet yet powerful declaration. Meri no longer needed a ring to define her worth or connection to anyone. Still, the claim that Kody melted her ring adds a deeper, more painful layer to her journey. It suggests that the final break between them was not a mutual act of closure, but rather something one-sided and possibly vindictive. The growing divide between Kody and his wives. Over time, Sister Wives transitioned from a show about unity to one about unraveling relationships. Kody's connections with his other wives also fell apart in parallel. Christine was the first to leave officially, announcing her split from Kody after years of visible emotional neglect. Janelle followed soon after, confirming she too was no longer spiritually married to him. Meri, for a long time, remained in a state of emotional limbo. Although Kody had made it clear on camera that he no longer viewed them as married, Meri initially seemed reluctant to let go completely. The moment he told her there was no chance for reconciliation was one of the most somber scenes in sister wives history. If the ring-melting claim is indeed rooted in reality, it underscores just how far Kody was willing to go to sever all emotional ties. For viewers who had seen him once claim to love Meri deeply, the transformation in his behavior has been difficult to watch. Emotional symbolism in the Brown family story. Throughout Sister Wives, symbolism has played a powerful role. From the family's move from Utah to Las Vegas, then to Flagstaff, to the constant rearranging of relationships and living arrangements, nearly every aspect of their story reflects transformation and emotional recalibration. The idea of a melted ring fits into this broader narrative of destruction and reinvention. It signifies not only the loss of love, but also the rewriting of history, an attempt to erase what once was in order to create a new version of events. To longtime fans, such a gesture feels both tragic and revealing. It points to how deeply fractured the relationship became and how much emotional energy Kody seemed to invest in distancing himself from his first wife. Fan reactions, sympathy, and outrage. Across social media platforms, fans of Sister Wives have expressed both sorrow and outrage over the alleged act. Many see it as a symbolic example of emotional manipulation, suggesting that Kody's need for control overshadowed any residual compassion he might have felt for Meri. Comments from viewers often highlight their shock at how far Kody's demeanor has shifted since the early years of the show. Once portrayed as a passionate, if sometimes overbearing, patriarch striving to balance 4 marriages, he now appears emotionally hardened and defensive. Meri's quiet strength and independence have drawn admiration in contrast. Many viewers have praised her for enduring years of emotional neglect and for ultimately finding peace on her own terms. A deeper look at Kody's emotional patterns. Analyzing Kody's relationship with his wives offers insight into his behavior. Throughout the series, he often justified his actions as being rooted in spiritual direction or emotional necessity. But his decisions frequently appeared to benefit him more than anyone else. His growing attachment to Robin Brown, his 4th wife, has often been cited as the main trigger for the emotional distancing from his other wives. Over time, Kody's priorities seemed to shift toward Robin and their shared children, while his relationships with Meri, Janelle, and Christine withered away. If Kody did, in fact, destroy Meri's ring, it would align with the pattern of emotional finality he's shown toward his other wives, an inability or unwillingness to maintain connections once he deems them broken beyond repair.